Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, IU men's soccer wins 2 out of 2 in the Adidas IU Credit Union Classic and has its mind set on next week's strong conference opponent.
And the Indiana football team will look to bounce back from their loss to Ohio State when they travel to Charlottesville, Virginia. This is Hoosier Sports Night. Hello and welcome to Season 14 of Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Austin Machicardi.
And I'm Lydia Knoll. IU men's soccer added 2 more wins to its undefeated record by defeating both San Francisco and South Florida over Labor Day weekend. Juan Alvarado was at Bill Armstrong Stadium to catch the action.
The IU men's soccer team was back in action over the weekend as the number 4 ranked Hoosiers play host to the Adidas IU Credit Union Classic. IU picked up a pair of victories in what ended up being a high-scoring weekend for the Cream and Crimson. The Hoosiers downed the Dons of San Francisco 5-1 on Friday with 5 different IU players finding the back of the net. Trevor Swartz started things off for the Hoosiers with a penalty in the first minute. Freshman Mason Toy made it 2-0 with his first career collegiate goal.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Everything I've dreamt about since sophomore year. Atmosphere was awesome. I just got goosebumps when they were playing the national anthem. So it was just really awesome to get my first start, and it's even better that we got the 5-1 win.
After conceding a corner kick goal, IU took a 2-1 lead into halftime before coming out firing in the second. The Hoosiers tallied on 3 more goals after the break, including a wonderful free kick from Timmy Mel in the 71st minute. Eight minutes later, Francesco Moore converts the second penalty of the night, giving IU a 4-1 lead. The 5th and final goal came from senior Rashad Hyacinth. The goals did not stop there as the Hoosiers capped off the tournament by shutting out South Florida 3-0 on Sunday night. Freshman goalkeeper Trey Muse picked up his 3rd clean sheet of the season, while junior defender Andrew Gutman got things started on the offensive end. Swartz and Hyacinth also both scored again as the unbeaten Hoosiers clinched the championship at Bill Armstrong Stadium. Coach Todd Yeckley was proud of the effort by his team over the weekend, but refuses to relax, stating that next week's match will be a battle.
We'll be ready. I mean, Maryland, we know what they'll do in the sense of kind of their style. It's going to be a phenomenal game. I mean, this is one you got to mark your calendar and make sure you watch, because it's going to be an absolute heavyweight game.
Reporting for IUSTV Sports, Juan Alvarado.
Up next, the Hoosiers will go on the road to begin Big Ten play against number 2 Maryland.
Last weekend, the Hoosier volleyball team won the George Washington Invitational, improving their record to 6-0 on the season. The Hoosiers defeated George Washington in 3 sets, Hofstra in 4 sets, and finally LIU Brooklyn in 4 sets. Megan Kors was named MVP of the Invitational, while both Hayden Hubers and Bailey Lebo earned spots on the all-tournament team. The Hoosiers will be back in action on September 8th and 9th as they travel to Evansville to play in the Dunn Hospitality Tournament.
After a tough loss to Ohio State last weekend, the Hoosier football team takes to the road to face the Virginia Cavaliers. Joe Cantor brings you a weekend preview.
The Indiana Hoosiers football team will travel to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville on Saturday when they take on the Virginia Cavaliers. IU dropped its opening game of the season to the Ohio State Buckeyes 49-21 at home, while Virginia easily topped William & Mary 28-10 to win their first contest of the season. IU has won 8 of their last 9 non-conference games, including the last 3 on the road. However, they've had no such luck against the Cavaliers. IU has never beaten Virginia, dropping both of the previous 2 contests. They're also just 6-14 all-time against the ACC. Saturday's game between Indiana and Virginia seems likely to be decided by which team's defense can impose its will. Virginia did that successfully Week 1, holding William & Mary to just 10 points. The Cavs' defense has great up-and-coming athletes under the direction of head coach Bronco Mendenhall. Meanwhile, Indiana's defense, led by preseason All-American linebacker Tigre Scales, held the juggernaut Buckeyes offense down in the first half, allowing just 13 points, before being broken open for 36 points in the second half. However, Week 1 probably not a good indicator for Saturday, as UVA hasn't faced a high-volume aerial attack like Indiana's. Thursday, quarterback Richard Lego threw a program record 65 times, completing 40 of those passes for 410 yards. While Richard's stats were good enough to land him in the Hoosier record books, notching him the 2nd most completions and the 5th most yards in the history of Indiana football, when asked about his performance, Lego said he's more focused on what he needs to improve on and not what he has already accomplished.
There was a lot of room for improvement. I think if you just look at the stat line, I got a lot of texts saying, "Hey, good game. You threw for a lot of yards, touchdowns, whatever." But when you really look at it, I could have played much better, and I have to play much better to win some games.
Head coach Tom Allen was clear in his press conference following the loss to Ohio State that he's sticking to his motto, break through, saying break through is a mindset much bigger than just one game. Allen has coached the Hoosiers in 2 games so far, both of which were competitive losses to top 25 teams. The Hoosiers will look to break through on Saturday with their first win of the 2017 season and the first win of Allen's head coaching career. For IUS TV, I'm Joe Canner.
The game kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Be sure to follow along with our coverage of the game on Twitter at IUSTV Sports, as well as tune in to WIUX 99.1 FM with Josh Eastern and Jacob Benson on the call.
Field hockey season is in full swing as the team has gotten off to a 2-2 start. After a couple of tough losses against top 10 teams, the IU field hockey team went back on the road, where they defeated 15th-ranked Wake Forest 1-0 on a goal from Sheridan Weiss. The Hoosiers then went to Philadelphia, where Sierra Girard's first career hat trick lifted the Hoosiers to a 4-3 win over Villanova.
After 4 road tests, the Hoosiers will have their home opener tomorrow against Central Michigan. Our Austin Render has the update.
IU field hockey head coach Amanda Janney is not afraid of scheduling tough, and that paid off this past weekend as Indiana defeated 15th-ranked Wake Forest 1-0, as well as a 4-3 win over Villanova. Now they gear towards their home opener this week against Central Michigan.
We had 2 great wins. To play against Wake Forest was a huge win. The team defense really got tested. We had a ton of shots against, but KJ played great. I'm really proud of her for staying aggressive throughout the game, that she kept coming out, taking out their best forward, making big plays, and then Elle made a couple huge defensive tackles for us. Nora made some good plays. Sophia made some good plays. So our defense really got tested. We feel good about the shutout.
So we have a different turf than a lot of other teams have. So we work to our advantage. We know the spots we need to hit. We know the seams that we need to run to. I could just say the hype. I really like the warm up. I know what my field's like. I'm not gonna give it away right now, but yeah, that's an advantage.
It's so nice playing at home and having all the Hoosier fans cheer us on, and we know we get a good crowd, so it'll be fun to get back home. It's a total home field advantage for us. We know we play great on home turf.
The Hoosiers start their home season tomorrow against Central Michigan at 3 p.m. Reporting for IUS TV, I'm Austin Render.
The field hockey team's home opener will start at 3 p.m. on Friday. It'll be the first of 4 straight home games for the Hoosiers.
This past weekend, Indiana women's soccer traveled to Nashville, Tennessee for the Music City Invitational. The Hoosiers played Vanderbilt on Friday evening. Midfielder Chandra Davidson scored the only goal of the game in the 59th minute to give Indiana the 1-0 win, and goalkeeper Bethany Kopel earned her 2nd career shutout. On Sunday afternoon, Indiana faced the undefeated Memphis Tigers. Memphis controlled the game early as they took a 1-0 lead just 10 minutes into the game, and Indiana didn't register a shot on goal until the 22nd minute. Indiana's best chance of scoring came off a shot by midfielder Chandra Davidson in the 36th minute, but the Hoosiers went into halftime trailing Memphis 2-0. Indiana outshot Memphis 8-4 in the second half, but the Hoosiers could not find the back of the net. Indiana finished second in the Music City Invitational behind Memphis. Chandra Davidson, Caroline Dreyer, Bethany Copel, and Megan Scott were named to the Music City Invitational All-Tournament team. Next up, the Hoosiers head to Dallas, Texas, where they'll face the number 22 SMU Mustangs on Friday evening.
Last weekend, the Indiana cross-country team began their season at home, hosting the IU Open. They competed against Illinois, Minnesota, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Miami of Ohio. The women's team kicked off the event by winning the 5K race. Junior Maggie Allen led the Hoosiers with a time of 17 minutes, 40.9 seconds, landing her in second place. Indiana also placed runners in 3rd, 8th, 9th, and 18th place for a team score of 40 points. The men's team followed up the women's strong performance by dominating the 8K race. The Hoosiers placed runners in the top 4 positions as well as 11th, giving them a score of 21, which is only 6 points off of a perfect score. The cross-country team will be back in action on September 15th when they compete in the Indiana Intercollegiate Meet in West Lafayette.
Indiana Athletics loves to showcase their former athletes who have turned pro, and now they've added another one to the fold. IUS-TV women's basketball beat reporter Dan Black has the story.
Hey everyone, it's Dan Black reporting for IUS-TV Sports inside Simon Scott Assembly Hall. It's been an exciting week for one Indiana basketball alum. Former Indiana University women's basketball player Alexis Gassian signed her first professional contract to play overseas in Finland for Kova Ture. According to IUHoosiers.com, Gassian said, quote, "I am extremely excited to continue my professional career overseas in Finland." During her time in Bloomington, Gassian accrued over 1,300 points, good for 13th all-time in program history, and is just one of 8 players in program history to score at least 1,300 points and grab at least 700 rebounds. Gassian went on to say later, quote, "I would like to thank my family and coaches who have gotten me to this point, and I can't wait to experience a new level of competition." Gassian will join her new club in September and will get to taste this new level of competition come October when the season begins. For IUS-TV Sports, I'm Dan Black.
For updates on Alexis Gassian and IU women's basketball, follow IUS-TV Sports on Twitter.
Need something to do this weekend? IU Athletics offers Crimson Guard points for attending home sporting events. These points can be used for prizes like food, gift cards, and IU gear.
Here are the events that you can attend this weekend to earn Crimson Guard reward points.
Once again, don't forget to like our page, IUS-TV Sports, on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at IUS-TV Sports. For Austin Matricardi, I'm Lydia Knoll, and we'll see you next week.